Time is one of the most important things in life, and tracking your time can be important both for billing your customer and clients as well as for your personal life to make sure that you're using your time in the best way. In this video, I wanted to show how to build your own basic timesheet and time tracker using Notion from scratch. If you find this video useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Let's first start with an empty Notion page, and we're going to title this Timesheet Notion Template. And we can go ahead and add an icon, click icons, and then we'll look for something in black that's for a clock. And then what we're going to do is add a cover photo, change cover, and we're going to go to Unsplash and look for something relating to time. So we can choose something like this. And then what we're going to do is go to the top right hand corner 3 dots and turn on small text full width to add more space to the page. Once we have that set up, we're going to start building this very basic timesheet. So we're going to go ahead and type /table to create a table view database. And then we're going to link or create a new database plus new table. So now we have an empty table view database. And we're going to title this timesheet. So now what we're going to do is click the 3 dots here, hide database title, just so that it looks a little bit cleaner. And we're going to start by adding some properties. So the first thing we're going to do is that this name is going to be a task. So we want to record the task. And just so that we can kind of see more easily how to actually utilize this, we're going to type a sample task here, such as answering client questions. And then what we're going to do is to start building the other properties, which are going to be the start and end time buttons. So we're going to go ahead and click the plus sign. And what we're going to do is add a button. So we're going to add button. And this one is going to be for starting. And we're going to add another button. We're going to click here and then duplicate property. And this one is going to be for the end. And if you want to edit the button names, you can click here, edit automation, and you can change the name by adding whatever you want here. We're just going to keep it simple and just add start and end. And we're going to move these over here so that it's clear and easy to understand that we're going to have to click these to start and end the timesheet. So the next thing we need to do is add 2 date properties, one for the start time and one for the end time. So we're going to click plus here and then look for a date. So we're going to do this one, and this one's going to be the start time. And then what we can do is something similar, which is going to be to duplicate this property, and this one is going to be the end time. So now what we want to do is when we do click the start here, we want the start time to be triggered. When we click the end here, we want the end time to be triggered. So this is a very simple button automation. We're going to click here, edit automation. So when the button is clicked, we want to edit the property, which is the start time, to be the time triggered. And then we're going to save. So now we can just test it out. It seems to work really well. We're going to do the same for the end time. Click here, edit automation, plus new action, and then we're going to edit the property, which is the end time, time when triggered, and then save. So now we can try it out by clicking end. So now we see that we have the start time and the end time. The next thing we're going to probably want to add is the calculation between the start and the end time, just so that we can actually see a bigger number. We're going to go ahead and edit this one to be 1 hour before the end time, just so you can see. So let's say we have something like this. So now what we're going to do is to add a formula. We're going to click the plus here and then add a formula. And then what we're going to do is click in the formula, and then we're going to calculate the difference between the start time and the end time in hours. And actually what we want to do is calculate in minutes first so that we can actually add a more accurate description of how long it's been. So we're going to go ahead and find a date between. So this allows you to calculate between 2 dates. So for example, we can do date between, and we're going to calculate the date between the end date, so end time, and then the start time like this. And then we want to know it in minutes. So now we see 60. And then we're going to divide this number by 60 to get the number of hours. And then what we're going to do is to add a round. So we're going to round And we're going to multiply this by 100. And then we're going to divide it by 100. So what this is going to help you do is that it's going to help generate a nicer looking decimal. So if we go ahead and change this, for example, to something like 8:11 p.m., you can now see that it's 0.75. So this allows you to calculate it in a way that's a little bit better to look at, so you can see and calculate better. We're going to rename this one into hours, so you can track how many hours. So this is the most basic timesheet you can create. Here you can add things like who's it's assigned to, descriptions, status, all these things that might be relevant to your particular timesheet needs. But for a very basic timesheet, this should be all that you really need. The last thing you might want to do is to sort this so that the start time is in descending order so that you have the new one on the top. So let's go ahead and test it out again. So we're going to add a new page here and we're going to start the time. And now it goes to the top. And then when you're done with the task, you can hit end. So the next thing we can do is add a button so that it can start the timesheet. So we're going to go ahead and type /button. And what we're going to do is when the button is clicked, we're going to add a new action, which is to add a page to the timesheet database. So we're going to type timesheet, add it to the timesheet. And we're going to edit the property, which is the start time is going to be the time triggered and then done. So this automatically allows you to already start it without clicking here, but it's also another option. Let's also go ahead and rename this to start new timesheet tracker like this. And then we can click the plus sign, done, and then we can test it out. So we're going to click start new time tracking and it already starts here. And then when you're done, you can click end. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in some more features, be sure to check out the timesheet Notion template, which you can use for both your team and personal use in the description below. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I hope to see you all in the next video.